He was once Donald Trump's lawyer and confidant. Now Michael Cohen's become the source of revelations that could lead to the ouster of the US president. The Democrats who control the House of Representatives are using the evidence Cohen shared with Congress last week to launch a new investigation into Trump's finances, which could lead to impeachment proceedings.
We will be issuing document requests to over 60 different people and individuals from the White House to the Department of Justice, Donald Trump Jr., Allen Weisselberg, to begin the investigations.
But Republicans say Trump's opponents are launching the new probe because they're worried another investigation won't turn up any dirt on the president. Since May last year, U.S. Special Counsel Robert Mueller has been investigating whether the Trump campaign worked with Russia during the U.S. presidential elections in 2016.
I think Congressman Nadler decided to impeach the president the day the president won the election. There's nothing that the president did wrong. Nadler is setting the framework now that the Democrats are not to believe the Mueller report. They're now saying we have to do our own investigation.
But analysts say Cohen's testimony and the evidence that backs it up could be enough to build a strong case against Trump.
Those checks go directly to the heart of the question of, did the president violate campaign finance laws by paying hush money? And we saw real evidence of campaign finance law violations.
Given the long list of people that lawmakers want to question, the latest inquisition will take months. So even if it does lead to the president's impeachment, it probably won't happen anytime soon. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
And for more on this story, let's bring in our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas, who joins us from Paris. Craig, thanks so much for joining us today. There have been scandal after scandal, investigations, and yet the U.S. president always seems to come out unscathed. How long can this go on, and are his days finally numbered?
It could go on past the 2020 election, quite frankly. There's three ways they can take him out. One is impeachment. Impeachment is essentially an indictment, but he would never be convicted in the Senate because the Senate is controlled by Republicans, and the senators act as the jury. The second way is the 25th Amendment, where majority of his cabinet and the vice president say he's unfit to be president of the United States. That's very doubtful. The third method has to do with the Southern District of New York, who could get enough evidence together, put enough evidence together to do what's called a sealed indictment. That indictment would be opened and be leveled against him when and if he is no longer president of the United States, because the law in the United States pretty much goes by that a sitting president cannot be indicted. So that's the playing field as it stands right now.
Mm-hmm. So what are these latest allegations against him, and how serious really are they?
Do we have an hour or two, Rachel? There's a whole bunch of them. They kind of change from day to day. Right now, you're looking at Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, who the CIA, apparently, according to reports, did not issue top secret clearance to. Trump overrode that, gave his son-in-law top secret clearance, and told Maggie Haberman of the New York Times a few months ago that he had not intervened. The evidence now suggests that he did. There's also a lot of witness intimidation, both through tweets and verbally, where a lot of folks in Washington, from both parties, by the way, I was there about 10 days ago, are referring to Trump as a mob boss, that he's running the White House like the mob runs their business, and that this has to end. What happens, though, is all of this invigorates his base, which is anywhere from 35 to 40%. They love this stuff.
Mm-hmm. How is the president responding? We saw him at CPAC over the weekend giving this long 2-hour unscripted kind of rambling speech where he was swearing. I mean, is he starting to feel the stress?
Well, what you hear in Washington from his supporters is that Trump revels in this type of wrestling match. All the man cares about is that you pronounce his name correctly and you spell it correctly. His base certainly loves this. And what it has led to in D.C., you hear a number of wise men and women both politicians, pundits, even Carl Bernstein, who with Bob Woodward, broke the Watergate scandal, saying that America, because of Trump, has now entered into what they're calling a cold civil war, where you have some former Obama and Clinton administration officials going on the record saying that if Trump loses the 2020 election, there might be a problem actually dragging him out of the White House. That's the extent it's gotten to there now, Rachel.
Wow. Okay, so Craig, we have time for just one real quick question. The Mueller reports, he's been working on that for about 2 years now. All signs point to that coming out soon. When can we expect that to finally come out?
All signs pointed to it coming out soon 6 months ago. Don't make any bets on it. That seems to be the game in Washington. When's it going to come out? Probably not until the end of this year, I would suspect. Even though Mueller's ratcheting down the investigation, there's still a lot of people being hauled in for questioning.
All right, Craig Copetas, thank you so much.